In this video, I am going to show you two different really fun, really easy ways to get collage paper without even trying. You're not even trying. It's going to happen. So the first way to do it is going to be with how you mix your paints. Now, say you're mixing colors and you're mixing paints, and it's on I use a paper palette, and I use something like come in white, they come in gray, and the ones I use are, I don't have any small ones, but this is a large one, and it comes in a pack. So you don't have to necessarily use this one, but this is what I use, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate with today. And so you have these, and you also, if you don't have the paper palettes and you want something that's just around home, I'm going to show you how you can also do it with wax paper. And I basically used these two pieces of wax paper to just mix paints. So I'm going to show you all of that. That's the first way. The second way is by just when you're painting and you're wiping your brush off to get the paint off before you put it in the water, instead of using paper towels, which I typically use, I changed. And now I wipe my paint off of pages that I've torn out of an old book. And you have to stay till the very end. Don't even think of leaving, because I'm going to show you and demonstrate all this to you. So look at these pages that I did. Let me move this because, there's so much to show you and have fun with. Look how gorgeous these are. Each side, and I did it on one side, and then after they dried, I turned it on the other side, because you might want to put them together and make a book later or not. But here are pages. This is what I did already, and I'm going to show you this. So I'm going to put that aside. And here is just an example of an old book. I buy these books on eBay. They're just old books, not a lot of money. And here is like my stack, and I just tear them out and put them down here when I'm mixing paints. And we're going to do that in a minute. But I wanted to give you an overview of this. And before I go on and demonstrate all this, I wanted to let you know, hi, I'm Adele, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell to make sure you get notified of every time I put up a new YouTube video. You do not want to miss it. So let's get started. Okay, now I want to show you what we're going to do today. And so look at this. I happen to keep all my collage papers on restaurant trays. It's so easy. They stack up really easily. They don't take a lot of space, and I can easily pull them out. And I've got these organized by color. I personally like to organize mine by color. And everything on this tray that you're seeing is directly from the palette papers, not the wax paper, but the palette papers that I use when I'm mixing paint for a painting. And I'm just going to show you a sample of them. All these, when you mix paints, you can do two things. The first thing is just to leave them and let them dry if you know you're not going to use these again. And I'm just going to show you a sample. I've cut some of the pieces off. I don't want it too thick. I like them sort of thin. So this was when I was mixing orange and blue and white. Red and blue, and here I'm mixing some purples. So you've got these already. You're already going to mix colors and mix paints. So when you're doing that, all you need to do is keep these and let them dry. And let me put this here and show you. I'm just going to pick a couple of these and show you what I do once they're dry. I take these out and just cut out sections of them in different shapes, wherever you find something that's interesting. And one of the things that's so great about this also is not only do you get the color, but you get fabulous shapes. Look at that shape. And so I'll add it over here. So I'll put that aside. And here's one that I just used my palette knife to spread around. And so I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to do a big cutout here. I also like this over here. So I do it I cut them out fairly large, and then later I can cut them down a little bit. But look at these fantastic shapes. And then I put them in the peach pile, the red pile, the blue pile, all those different piles. Let's see. And okay, I don't have a whole lot of greens here. So I am going to just cut across here. I mean, look how simple and easy that is. Fantastic. And I go along, because I like shapes, I'm going along the outside, the perimeter of these shapes. And it's just, they're fantastic. So I have this. I don't even have green yet, but let's make a green over here. I don't mix much green, but see when you're mixing, and I'm going to show you in just a minute how to do this. There's another way that I do this. This is too thick for me. This is very thick, so I'm going to cut that off. You might not want to do that. I just don't like really thick pieces. I like the thinner ones. So here we go. Look at this, and look at all these gorgeous colors. I mean, this is what you have already. You're just using it. You're not throwing it away. Before, and I've spent years wiping my paint or keeping the palette and then cutting it up into sections and then collaging it. But what I've done differently recently is, and I'm going to show you, before, let's cut this up because this is just a fantastic, I call this a value string, where you have one color and then at the bottom you add white and more white and more white. So look at this, how fantastic. And look, you can easily get a tray like this filled up very, very quickly. So I'm going to do this. I just want to show you how fantastic and easy this is. Look at that. So you've got it at your disposal. So let's put these aside. And so whether you do the paper palettes or not, now I'm going to show you, this is the wax paper. I did this yesterday. And I also want to show you, it's really fabulous on the back too, if you like that. But look, I cut this out. I'm going to cut these out. And the wax paper is thinner. And it's just fantastic. Look at this. You could do a whole collage piece just like this. And I'm not really, well, maybe I will. I'll cut this up right here. And keep these two together. Look at these. And this I love together. So I'm going to cut this. This is all the wax paper. The wax paper is a little bit thinner than the palette paper. So I love these two together. So I'm going to keep these together. And sometimes I love this too. Watch. I don't necessarily cut it right along this line where they are separate, but maybe just a little bit below. So it gives you an interesting like 3-color look. And look at this gorgeous color. So, okay, this is going to go in the neutrals, in the greens. You can tell I'm stacking and stacking and stacking all these fabulous colors. And the same thing with this. And what are we going to do with this? Wait till you see. So I've got this, and I'll put this aside so at least you get this. This is the idea. I'm going to put this aside. So say you've got these. Look at all these fantastic things. So the next step is to make these into a painting, a collage painting. And after I show you this, I'm going to show you how I use and wipe off my paints on the book pages, because these are fantastic. But before I do that, I want to show you, I just put some out here. This is a canvas. Let me put all this over here. This is just a canvas board, a canvas panel, 8x8 square. Here, a white one. This is another one that is 6x8. These two are 6x8 panels. They're easy to work on, easy to store. And this one is the same as this one. It's 8x8. Let's see, I just ordered them from Amazon, 8x8, but I painted it black. So if you don't want a white background, you can have a black background. So for right now, let's just take some of these and let me show you what I do with it. I just lay it down. I'm going to take some, for instance. Oh, I love this shape. So I'll do this shape. Let's do this shape, the 8x8, the 6x8. And I love the vertical. Look at this. You could almost do one just like this or lay that on here. I'll put this aside. And let's say we're going to go through our pieces here. Look at all the fabulous pieces. And what I do is just lay them out in a couple of things. You can actually have a theme for each one. You can do one that's just a monotone and have like, say we're going to do this. Say we're going to do red. We're going to have this red and then it's going to be on the black. So let's see what that looks like. I'll get out all my reds. And you could just have several of these. There's so many of these collage papers here. You could lay out a whole bunch of these canvas panels. The panels. And just do 12 paintings. And they can either be paintings that if you love when they're finished, you can go ahead and sell them or keep them or frame them. And if not, they're just inspiration. But it's good to play around as well. And we're just going to layer these. So let's see. And they can come off the page. They don't have to go to the edge because I didn't you can trim them later. I'm going to put them a little to the edge because I want to fill up this whole piece here. But say I've got this and I'm just using what I have here. And you just mix them around. Do I like it here? Do I want it here? I actually think I like this. I love the overlap of this over here. And what about if I did a pink here? This is a great shape. And I love this. This is an amazing pop of color. I would put that down there. I mean, look how easy and quick these are. And maybe I'll do something over here. I'll lay this underneath like this. Let's see. Or maybe I'll do it this way. Yep. I want to do that side. I'm going to put this underneath here. Look at that. So you can create something that's just so easy and move it around and keep experimenting. And if you get something that you like but you want to experiment more, take a photo of it. Let's see what else I have here. I have something here. Look at this. Look how fabulous. And here's something that's just, I just cut a circle out of one of them to just give it some extra punch or something, maybe over here to balance this off. But look how fantastic this is. I would take a picture and use that. Now, let's see. Let's just do this really quickly, and then I'm going to show you how to make these pages from the books. So we're not going to do the red. We already did that. Say we want this to be a neutral. Let's take all our neutrals, and we're going to put them over here. Or we can mix it up and do something else. Okay, so let's keep going here. I kind of like this orange, this pop of orange here. But I like this. Again, it could be anything. Oh, I kind of like this here. So we're just going to experiment. It could be dark. It can be light. It could be a pop of color. It could be, oh, look at this. These are fabulous. And you just lay them on top of each other until you find something that you just go, oh, I love that. I want to keep that. So that's what you do. So, oh, I just have to do one thing. I love the blue here. Just have to do experiment with one. I mean, look how fantastic that is. And suppose I undid this here and put it under there. Look at that. That's another one. Look how easy and look how simple. So there, we just did two. I'm going to put this away and we're going to mix a few paints and show you. I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to show you how to use the books. How I use the books. So say I'll use this gray. This is a gray palette. And I'm going to say, okay, let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to move this over here. I'm just going to put a couple, this is yellow ochre. I'm going to put a few things on the palette and mix the paints. And I'm going to show you another secret. We're still not finished yet, so hold on. And by the way, if you love looking at this and learning techniques like this, especially with collage, take a look at my video here that shows you all kinds of interesting ways to make collage papers. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few of these here. This is Titan Buff. This is yellow ochre. This is a little Pyrrole red. I'm going to put it here. And we're just going to start mixing some papers. So let's just say we're going to mix like this. Mix these two. And say, okay, I don't have one right here, but I'm just going to use this panel right here. So say I'm just going to paint something on here. Cover the whole background. Okay, so I've got that on, and now I'm done with that, and I just wipe this off here. And if it's right here, it's perfect, see? And so then I can put it in the water. But what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to actually mix some more. So this whole thing is going to be, I'm just going to Just showing you how to do it. Okay, I'm done there. And so if this is pretty full, but you don't have to, you can keep building up and building up and building up. But sometimes I like to give it a break. You know, I don't want to mix colors, so I'll put this down and go to the next one. So you have your stack here. See? And so now I'm just going to do this. Okay? Wipe this off. And I like going to the edge, not thinking about it. Look how fabulous these are. So I let these dry, and then after that, after they're dry, then I turn them over and I'll work on the other side. And you don't have to do that, but this is one last secret in this video. One last secret is this. When you are finished with your paints on here, and I'm just going to fill in right here. Okay, say I'm doing this, okay? Say I'm doing this. So I'm finished painting. I'm not going to use this palette anymore. So what I do is I get a kind of a big brush, and I will just move this around to maybe spread out all the rest of that's on the paper, on the palette. So it's a flat area. And I can also wipe this off. These are pretty full, but look. And then I'll go to the next one. And this one, I wipe it to kind of spread out as much paint as possible. Like that. Once I know I'm finished. And that's where you'll see these big, that's where these big areas of flat color come from. Things like this. So then I will wipe that off. And you can either rinse this or just keep going. And then I do the same up here. Just to spread it all out. How about that? There we go. So look, I'm going to let this dry and I'll tear that off and I'll cut these shapes out to put in my big tray, restaurant tray filled with collage papers. Now, if you've loved this, I have a beginner course that I think you would really love. The link is below, and I teach all kinds of fun, cool techniques like this for beginner abstract painting. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next video.